Arc Raiders has a talent tree that splits into 3 paths, them being conditioning, mobility, and survival. I'm Candy, and without wasting any more of your time, let's go over each tree and I'll show you which points I'll be taking on release of Arc Raiders. The conditioning tree mainly focuses on things such as breaching, melee, encumbrance, and making most out of situations when you're in disadvantage, with notable nodes such as used to the weight, unburdened roll, a little extra, and loaded arms. The mobility tree is in charge of nodes that focus on your stamina management, including vaulting, rolling, and dodging. Its notable nodes are Marathon Runner, Youthful Lungs, Slip and Slide, Calming Stroll, Effortless Roll, and Vaults on Vaults on Vaults. In my opinion, it is by far the most impactful skill tree out of the 3. The survival tree is by far the most interesting one as it has high versatility. Some of the more interesting nodes on the survival tree are Looter's Instincts, In-Round Crafting, Broad Shoulders, Traveling Tinkerer, One Raider Scrap, Security Breach, and Minesweeper. This tree has a lot of options for raiders and will definitely be chosen by many. Now to talk about what nodes I will personally be taking on release. After playing Arc Raiders during Server Slam, I made a decision that stamina is everything. No, but seriously, most of the time you're either sprinting or walking when you're out of stamina to sprint. That is why at the start I'll be focusing on my mobility. Something I forgot to mention is that to get these large middle nodes, you need to invest at least 15 points into the nodes below to get it. This prevents people from rushing top nodes that give the most value to the player. My points will be going straight into the mobility tree to get as much stamina as humanly possible. Putting only one node into Nimble Climber, I will path into the left side, picking up Marathon Runner and Youthful Lungs. This will get me 11 out of the 15 points needed to unlock the middle section. The other 4 points will go into the other side of the mobility tree, picking up Slip and Slide for 3 points and 1 point into the Sturdy Ankles. Sturdy Ankles is not that great by itself. However, I am unsure if we will need it to get the Calming Stroll node above it. If we don't need it, then I'll not be taking it. The last thing I'll be doing on the mobility tree is picking up the 2 major nodes in the middle, Calming Stroll and Carry the Momentum. At this point, I'll be comfortable with my stamina for a long time, which means that I can now start spending my points for a more loot-orientated nodes. Realistically, there are 2 paths that I can take, the conditioning path that focuses more on breaching and encumbrance, or the survival path that reveals more loot and gives me in-game crafting. I decided to go with the survival path as I feel like it's a lot more versatile, giving more options besides just looting. To start, I'll be putting 1 point into Agile Croucher, followed by 5 points into Looter's Instincts, the most important node on the lower half of the survival tree. Then I'll be putting 1 point into Revitalizing Squad to reach in-round crafting. Many raiders didn't seem to know this during the Server Slam, but by reaching this node, it allows you to craft basic things like shield recharge and bandages at the middle of the raid. The mechanic is interesting. It worked best in trios and any budget runs where you weren't able to bring many meds into the raid. Next, I'll put 1 point into Silent Scavenger and be left with 6 more points to spread across the tree before I can advance further. I will most likely be putting 3 points into Agile Croucher and 3 points into Silent Scavenger, mainly for solo play to keep low profile and stay silent. After reaching 15 points in survival, I'll be taking Suffer in Silence to reach Broad Shoulders and finally Looter's Luck. It's at this point I'll take my final node, Traveling Tinkerer. I personally don't know what it does, but I feel like it will be fun messing around with. And that's all that matters to me. At this point, the other node that interests me on the survival tree is the Security Breach. Yet I feel like it's a very niche node that does not warrant 16 points of investment. Moving over to the conditioning tree, at this point in the game, I'll most likely be consistently running medium and heavy shields. Therefore, I'll be investing 5 points into Used to the Weight. 1 point will be going into Gentle Pressure and 5 points in Proficient Prior. This will help with opening the boxes, but also opening the Harvester door a lot faster. On the left side, I'll be putting 1 point into Blastborn and 3 points into Fight or Flight. That would get me 15 points, which means I can take both Survivor Stamina and Unburdened Roll. 5 points in a little extra and 5 points into Loaded Arms, and I'm officially done with the core of my raider. Now, of course, this is 64 points worth of skill points, So I don't expect to have all of this within the first few days or even weeks. This acts more as a personal guide without thinking too much about it when I'm on the topside rating. If you have your own thoughts on the tree or just want to share what kind of playstyle you're going for, let me know in the comments down below. I'll be sure to read all of them. But that's all for me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the topside. Peace.